It's a really rainy day outside today, so I thought it was a perfect opportunity for me to do a little Q&A on the series of videos I've made on my Z900RS. I want to start by saying I have noticed a lot of people have refrained from putting nasty comments on and just kind of kept it to constructive criticism, which is actually very helpful. That says a lot about the community surrounded around these bikes. First and most common question, why didn't you buy a Versys or a BMW or some other touring motorcycle? Why did you buy this Z900 and then throw all this junk on it to go touring around? First one for me is the cost. I cannot buy 2 and 3 motorcycles to do each thing I want it to do. This was a big purchase for me, so when I bought this motorcycle, I researched and researched and researched till I found just the right one for me, the one that I liked. You cannot make yourself like something, so why buy something you're not going to be happy with? Let's just be real about this. Versys, touring bikes, any of them are nowhere near as good looking as this bike. But you added all this junk to it and it's so ugly right now, dude. So what are you talking about? You took a pretty bike and made it ugly. But in reality, my bike doesn't look that bad. Yes, I added a few things, but look at it. This is what it looks like right now. The boxes are off. The boxes take like maybe 3 seconds a piece to take off of the bracketry there. The bracketry is left on there, and it's not the prettiest, but it's not terrible. It is a compromise if you are wanting to use this thing as a touring machine and you want to put that luggage on there, then you have to deal with this bracketry on the motorbike. For me, it's worth it. The convenience of having that tour pack and luggage on there outweighs the looks of the bracketry. While we're on the subject of luggage, I wanted to explain a few things about my recent trip to Florida. I got a whole lot of comments about I'm overloaded, I'm too heavy, too much weight, too much bulk on this motorcycle. So I want to show you a few things. Maybe it'll help explain what the deal was with that. You know, one of the things is the thumbnail. I know I made everything exaggerated and look bigger than it is. But this on the very top is a cooler bag. There was nothing even in this except just a little bit of food, but it weighs nothing. Yes, it's bulky, but I had it on the top because it doesn't weigh anything. And what I use this for is when I get to the campsite, I can get some ice or something, fill it up with drinks, stuff like that, but I'm not packing ice and drinks around with me. It's just for that evening, for that night. Other than the luggage boxes, the only other thing I had was this Givey dry bag. The bag was filled up, but all that was in there was a tent, my mat, a pillow. Everything was very light, a little bit bulky, but light. Reason for that is some of my stuff is a little older, and it fits in a bag, and I'm just, you know, good enough. I don't want to spend money and buy new stuff, lighter weight stuff, more compact stuff. Just don't want to spend that money. The side boxes are 22 liters apiece, so they're not that big. I kept my clothes in one, and on the other side I had, you know, my toiletry stuff, whatever, hygiene things, stuff like that. If you guys have seen my videos, I do like taking my hatchet, my saw, and my little flat pack grill. And basically that's what was in this box here, and a few other odds and ends stuff, but not a whole lot of stuff. This box was actually halfway empty. I wanted this box halfway empty intentionally because I had to put my winter clothes in there. When I got to Florida, I can't be, you know, driving around in coveralls and heavy coats and things like that. I also kept all my camera gear stored in that top box. All said and done, maybe this setup was a little bit bulky, but it didn't affect my ride at all. I didn't even know this stuff was back there. Try to keep in mind, I'm touring on the streets. I'm not adventure riding or anything like that. I'm just cruising the streets, and this last trip to Florida was a whole lot of interstate. All said and done, I probably only had about 60 pounds of weight in all of these boxes. It may have looked like a whole lot more, but in the end, 60 pounds really isn't that much weight to carry on the back of a motorcycle. And if there was more weight than that, I don't believe it would have bothered me at all. Everything was balanced out good and nice, and I was actually very satisfied with the way I had everything packed, and I'll do it exactly the same way again next time I go. Just a random question, my first motorcycle, street bike, I mean other than mopeds, dirt bikes and stuff, was a 1982 Honda CM400E. I was 15 years old living in Florida at the time when I bought that bike, Let me know what you had for your first bike. Leave it in the comments below, and how old were you when you got it? Guys, the risers for me are just a necessity. Yes, they're a little ugly. I agree with that. I wish I could just get bars the right size. Like if I could get chrome bars that were the right size height to get rid of those risers, that would still look a lot cleaner than what I got right there going on with the handlebar risers. But for me, it just makes it a lot more comfortable to ride, and I'm not willing to sacrifice the comfort for the style. And as you can see, I have handlebar risers on my Z and or Z900R. Always a Kawasaki, guys. Nothing else besides a Kawasaki. And again, the risers are to make me more comfortable so I can go longer distances. The little windshield made by Poog, painted by a company called Pyramid, looked cool, but didn't work out for me. And I explained this when I first put it on. It was buffeting underneath my helmet right here pretty bad. I didn't like it. It'd be alright if you tucked underneath it, or if you were a taller guy, you'd always be in clear air. But for me, I'm 5'7", for my height, it just didn't work out. Wasn't happy with it, so I took it off. And now time for all you cool dudes to cringe, because I'm going to put this National Cycle Street Shield EX onto my motorbike. And honestly though, I don't think it's going to look bad at all. Again, it's quickly removed. This thing will come off in seconds, as far as I can tell through reading the instructions and stuff like that. My old Z and or Z is a retro bike, so look here, this is a CB360. It's got a retro windshield on it, just like the one I'm getting ready to put on, except mine's even cooler than that. So maybe it won't look too bad. I held the windshield up there and it doesn't look bad at all. Honestly, it looks kind of cool, I think. It gives it an old retro look, and with the boxes on there, so you got your tour pack, you got your little windshield, it looks like an old 70s motorcycle, man, that people are just like, I'm traveling on it. Trust me, it's not going to be that bad. Video coming up on the installation soon. Another thing I'm waiting on is the Oxford heated handlebar grips. I ordered a set of those. Typically on something like that, I would have went with the Kawasaki, but the Oxford grips and controller, to me, looks more modern looking than the Kawasaki ones. Just my opinion, don't get all upset. Plus, the price was less than half on them, so I decided to go with those. I think I made a good choice. We'll see when I get them and install them and try them out. Quick little review update. After having drove this motorcycle over 2,400 miles, I found out I like the traction control. I put it on setting 2, which is like the most, easiest, softest setting for the motorcycle. I like that. Reason why is because this thing is mad powerful. So if you can tame it down just a little bit while you're kind of cruising around, it actually makes it kind of nice. I'm not saying I don't like to turn it off every now and then to have a little fun, so don't misunderstand me there. Because it's took me so long to polish these pipes, and they still have little nicks and stuff in them, this drives me absolutely nuts. Look at that radiator. 2,400 and some miles. It's got spots in it. I know you guys are going to say put a radiator protector on it. I understand that. The pipes, they got little tiny itty bitty chips in them and took just hours to polish back out, driving me insane. I wish that Kawasaki, first, before I even say this, I know they make extenders, but the extenders are going to go down like here. You're still not protecting your pipes. You might help your radiator, but not your pipes. I wish Kawasaki would make a fender option. I mean, I would buy one. A fender that went way on down here and had a little scoop on it, you know, to get the stuff off of the pipes, off of the front of the bike. I mean, hours I cleaned on this thing to get it in this shape, and it's still, I mean, there's damage done to it within the first, before I even hit 3,000 miles. Same on the back. I wish this fender, and I know you can get an extender probably for this too, but I just wish it would just come on back there to be able to protect everything and keep this motorcycle a lot cleaner. Personal preference, no need to get all mad. I just wish they had those fenders on there to keep this thing clean. I mean, I like to ride it in any kind of weather, all kinds of weather, all the time. And I don't want to be polishing and cleaning every nook and cranny on this thing when a lot of that could be avoided if it just had some nice big fenders on it. Would they be ugly? I don't really think so. Older bikes had big long fenders and that didn't bother me a bit. And this is a retro machine, so hey, maybe they wouldn't look so bad on it. My little brain's already been turning, and I've been thinking about making my own fiberglass fender and getting it painted to match the bike. If that comes to pass, I'll be sure and share it with you. My goal for this video was just to clear up a few things. Like I said, there's been a lot of repeated comments on most of the stuff I covered here on this bike, so I wanted to give a little bit more clear explanation of why I did these things. The biggest reason I didn't buy a touring bike is because I don't know if I'll tour or not. I do know I'll keep riding a motorcycle, but how much touring I'll do, I don't have a clue. That's why I bought this bike. If I stop touring, maybe I don't want to do it at all. I can take all this stuff off of it, and I still got my motorbike to ride around locally. I do like the fact that this is a versatile machine, and I can make it into a touring bike if I want to. Hopefully this clears everything up. If I forgot something, leave it in the comments below and I'll get back with you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.